political propaganda is the media making the president out to be the most powerful man on earth. He is probably the most influential man on earth. Power, especially when it comes to certain things, I respectfully disagree. For example, inflation. Does the president have power of inflation? Yes and no. The president has power over foreign policies, some parts of economic policy, and that and things like that affect the economy. But what people ignore, or what is purposely ignored, is the power of Congress. The democratically elected branch of the United States that makes laws, the legislative branch, which means they make laws. The executive branch is the president who execute laws, right? He can present laws in the form of executive orders, and then Congress puts it and considers it. He has power. He has certain powers over the federal government, i.e., like mass mandates for federal employees. When it comes to things like making laws, that's Congress. People don't understand how much power Congress has. They are 1/3 of the power in our federal government. That's quite powerful. They are elected democratically, so when that means that your vote matters when you vote for House of Representative or Senator, right? Your vote doesn't matter as much when it comes to president. It matters because in the electoral college usually goes with the popular vote in their state, right? So your vote kind of matters. There have been instances where the electoral college goes the other way, and there are 2 states, I think, that make it punishable, which I don't think they should. They're electoral colleges for a reason. But the country and the media puts a lot of weight behind the president and make you think that that's the most important. That's the top of the chain. And then you have the conspiracy that, the president is just the face. Some of that's true, but that's the only reason it becomes a conspiracy is because of the ignorance. Conspiracies are usually built through ignorance. And that's because Congress has a lot of power that people don't understand. You elect congressmen and they stay in power forever if you don't change that. Like, people want to put term limits. I don't agree with term limits. It doesn't fix it. It actually gives lobbyists more power, because now you have a senator or a representative that has a smaller time period, and therefore they want to get the most out of it, so the lobbyists take advantage of that. Well, versus someone who's been in power for a while, they have experience, because in youth there's ignorance, and with age usually comes wisdom. Wisdom is very important. Intelligence is cool. Wisdom is better, right? So with the experience comes wisdom and better decisions, right? A better vision on the bigger picture, which is more important than what you want now. So I think we need to stop putting so much stock in the president. He's a plumber, right? He comes in, he does his job, he goes home. That's what he's supposed to be. But we have sensationalized the president of the United States as if he has all this power, but he doesn't. Inflation is a monetary policy. Inflation is almost always a cause of monetary policy. Monetary policy is policy, right, enacted by the central bank, the federal government. They use things like quantitative easing. Quantitative easing is a big word for a lot of people. It's a conspiracy theory to others, but it's existed forever. It's basically the printing of money, right? Basically, but not physically, right? It's basically the central bank buys junk bonds or bonds from failing bonds from corporations, and in turn give them the cash, right, to flood money into the market, to artificially inflate the market. That's quantitative easing. That's it. The Federal Reserve is an independent bank, and it controls all the banks, but who has power over them is the Senate. The president nominates the chairman, and the Senate confirms them, and then they answer to the Senate. The Senate has a power over them. So inflation is basically inflation. I don't care what any Republican, Democrat tell you. Inflation is the printing of money. There's too much money in circulation, and in 2020, 40% of the current greenbacks in circulation, right, the bills, were 40% were printed in 2020. Which and when that happens, it usually takes 2 years, right, to take effect in inflation. 2020, it's 2022. So with all the current stimuluses, the corporation bailouts, the bank bailouts, the blue state bailouts that no one talks about, the stimmies that are basically the worker bailouts, all these bailouts were printing of money, but in the new way, which is actually technology, bank deposits. When you think of money, think of it as receipts. Basically, if you work, right, earned income, which is one of 3 classes of income. Earned income is when you work for your money. When you work for your money, you before you get your check, the government takes whatever it takes. You don't give, they take what you owe them immediately, and the receipt is what you get back was your check, your deposit, or the cash. So money's just a receipt. It's fiat currency, fugazi, nothing. It doesn't exist. It's not real. It's based on nothing. It's backed by a promise. Unlike when it was under the gold standard, when it had something, a commodity back, the dollar had a commodity backed by it. But in order, the government had a bright idea to control, right, the worth of money. They had, in order to control it, they had to get rid of the gold standard, and they created the central bank later on, and that's how we got to the situation. But the Senate has all the power when it comes to monetary policy. You need to, if you're angry about rising prices because of inflation, there's only one cure. There's only one thing that fixes it, right? I don't care what anybody promises you. We need to stop printing money, right? The government needs to stop printing money, and the government needs to stop spending. That's the only cure. There's nothing else. It doesn't matter. I don't care what they promise you. It's the only way. We gotta stop spending. I know people want money. They want more money for this and more money for that. Congress always wants more money. But inflation is a tax. Basically, you know, taxes have been. We're being taxed right now. All Americans, not the rich, not the poor, not the middle class. Every American in the country, your taxes are being brought up through inflation, and that's because of Congress. Because printing money is the easiest way to get what you need, and then you don't have to take blame for the tax rate going up on all Americans. So that's why Congress loves printing money. So they could be like, oh, how are you going to blame us? It's not our fault. It is their fault. That's who you blame. Inflation on Congress. Because they need to, they print money to spend money on us, right? And then to pay for government spending. If not, then they have to get loans from other countries. And the easiest way to the easiest one out of two is to print money. So we need to stop printing money and stop spending. That's it. That's what fixes inflation. I know it's not. It's like losing weight. You got all these diet pills and all these ab workouts and all this meals, the Weight Watchers and all bullshit. At the end of the day, in order to lose weight, you have maintenance calories. You need to be below your maintenance calories, right? An average of 500 a day, 350 calories a week, which is 1 pound a week. You do that, you lose weight. Yeah, if you go 500 calories below your maintenance, whatever your maintenance is, that's how you lose weight. That's it. And you get that through dieting and or eating and or exercising. The combination of both is best. That's the secret to losing weight. The end. Well, and you guys pay how much? It's a $1 billion, multi-billion dollar, $1 trillion industry. The government is also $1 trillion industry. And if you want to cut the shit, it's simple. But the problem is that like any solution, there are effects. When you get operated on, you have to stay in bed because you're going to go through some pain. They want you to heal, right? Well, we cut the spending, we cut the printing, then we will get negative effects for a while. Things get worse before they get better, right? If you want to go through a solution, first you got to go through some bad stuff, then boom, because we're already going through the bad stuff. So to get to the solution, you got to go through some rocks, but you got to go through some rain, but at the end is the rainbow. And that's it. Please like, subscribe, share, comment. I don't care if you don't agree, you disagree, leave it in the comments. Hit me with criticism, constructive criticism. Hit me with hate. I don't care. It's a free country. It's your world. Say whatever you want to say. Also, I have a Patreon. Please support my Patreon, Milligwap Entertainment Patreon. Um, whatever you can give. So anyone that makes a contribution, I'm they get access to my personal budget planner. It's a written budget. Um, I use it I use it myself. It's a monthly and biweekly, but you can change it to weekly, monthly or biweekly budget. Track your spending, see how much you're spending, track your spending, see how much of you're spending, see where your money's going, break it down, have a plan, edit it as you please. A lot of people have asked me for this, and I figure this is the best avenue to help people while getting paid for my services. So support the Patreon. You make a contribution. You will have access to the budget planner. I will be adding more benefits to Patreon later on, but it just got started.
So help brother out.